Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for THV 11 News at noon. I'm Jurnee Taylor. Here's what we have coming up. An Arkansas senator is demanding answers after cocaine was found in the White House. We've got an update on the federal investigation. Plus, it's perfect pool weather, and many families are taking the opportunity to take a dip. Our Verified team is looking into a common swimming concern. And it's a social media showdown. Will a new platform knock Twitter off of its online throne? We've got a look at the new contender coming up. Well, we first want to check in with meteorologist Nathan Scott, and I just want to take a second to address the fact that it's been over a month. We've had vacations, trainings, filling in for other people. You guys, I finally get to see Nathan again at noon.
Over a month, really?
It's been over a month. Nathan,
I can't believe that.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you as well, Jurnee. We're talking about another warm and humid day out there and the potential of more showers and storms developing with that daytime heating. We start off the day with plenty of sun. That's helped the temperatures warm to the upper 80s to right around 90 in the capital city. But look at the 70s in Fort Smith and Fayetteville. Deck of cloud cover making its way in here from Oklahoma. And underneath those clouds, showers and storms marching their way through eastern parts of Oklahoma. That line will most likely hold together or intensify a little bit as the day wears on. So here's a rough timeline of when you can expect showers and storms into western parts of Arkansas, probably as early as 2 o'clock, but certainly 3-4 o'clock time frame. Look out, because there's going to be that potential of scattered showers and storms, and that line will continue to march its way towards the metro. I think here in the metro we'll have a good opportunity of showers and storms right around sunset, and that continues to be the story into the early overnight hours with more rain and thunder expected. Temperatures today topping out into the low 90s for most of us, cooler with those clouds and rain off to the west with highs into the 80s. An unsettled weather pattern. That's what we're dealing with to close out the work week and head into the weekend. More on that forecast coming up.
All right. Well, thank you, Nathan. New at noon, Arkansas State Police have launched an investigation into a shooting involving police last night in Pine Bluff. Very few details have been released, but State Police tells THV 11 they will have more information soon. The Pine Bluff Police Department will not be involved in the investigation until State Police wraps up. Vincent police are also investigating after finding a person dead on Interstate 30. Officers responded to the I-30 Carpenter Street overpass yesterday, a little before 4 p.m. When they got there, they found a woman who had suffered fatal injuries. They don't suspect any foul play, but will continue investigating. Former Razorback and Whitehall football coach Ryan Mallett will be laid to rest today. He passed away last week while on vacation in Florida. The funeral is at 2 p.m. at Central United Methodist Church in Fayetteville. The service will be live streamed on the church's website. Well, making national headlines this morning, 2 firefighters were killed in a cargo ship fire in Newark, New Jersey overnight. The fire broke out on a 12-story ship docked in Port Newark that was loaded with about 5,000 cars. Officials say the fire started in 6 or 7 cars and then spread to other floors of the ship where the firefighters became trapped.
I saw the kind of acts of bravery and camaraderie today that's unparalleled. And, you know, it's very, very, very traumatic for all of us here in the city of Newark, and we ask everybody to pray.
The fallen firefighters were identified as 45-year-old Augusto Akabu and 49-year-old Wayne Brooks Jr. 5 firefighters were also injured. Arkansas Senate Republican Tom Cotton has written to the director of the U.S. Secret Service asking how cocaine made it into the West Wing of the White House. The powdery substance was discovered in an area frequented by visitors on Sunday, causing a temporary lockdown. As CBS News' Jared Hill reports, a lot of questions still remain.
The U.S. Secret Service is now leading the probe to find out how a small bag of cocaine got into the White House.
The president thinks it's very important to get to the bottom of this.
A senior law enforcement official says the substance was found Sunday on the ground floor in a common area near the entry to the West Wing. It's close to a set of storage cubbies where visitors leave their cell phones during a tour.
This is a heavily traveled, to be more accurate, area of the campus of the White House.
Investigators are trying to pull fingerprints off the bag. Visitor logs and camera surveillance are also being searched, as senior officials say the leading theory is that someone on the tour may have left a bag of cocaine. The White House confirms there were West Wing tours over the weekend. All visitors are vetted and go through security before coming into the grounds.
Not every camera is trained on everybody at every minute. There is a possibility that you may never determine who did this.
The White House says staffers and Secret Service detailees are all subject to rigorous drug testing. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, the president and first lady were not at the White House at the time the substance was discovered. The bag is currently at a federally run laboratory. For the first time in years, Central Arkansas water customers' rate will be higher this month. CAW says the hike is the only way to keep water flowing into the future. The agency says the increase is less than a dollar, and it's all part of a 10-year plan. Now, going forward, there will be a rate increase every January. The extra money that will be collected over the next 10 years will fund needed repairs to the CAW systems.
$150 million alone into the water treatment plant, another $60 million into a new raw water line from Lake Maumelle to that treatment plant to ensure redundancy, so that if something happens to the main line that's there now, we'll still be able to get water from the lake to the treatment plants.
Now, if you're worried about not being able to keep up with your rising bill, there are payment assistance programs available. Tonight, the Arkansas Black Mayors Association will host a meeting to get feedback from residents about a project to fix flooding problems. The Watershed Project is a $95.5 million project to help address areas that face constant flooding. The organization told us they rely on people speaking out and letting them know about areas that need more assistance. The meeting will be at 6 p.m. today at the Pine Bluff Convention Center. A new list shows the top cities for mosquitoes in the U.S., but much to our surprise, no Arkansas cities even made the top 50. So we sent THV 11 Sarah Hobakowitz to what many call the Center for Natural State Mosquitoes, that's England, Arkansas, to see for herself and have a bug expert weigh in.
I'm told heading down to England, Arkansas takes some preparation. So let's see why people say the mosquitoes are just that bad.
I mean, you can't come outside. They're gonna bite you. And if you guys stay here, they're gonna get you.
Little mosquitoes in Conway, these things are mosquito hawks.
Bug expert Emily McDermott says it's not just in their heads.
Mosquitoes have always been very bad in especially the southeast U.S. Even a bottle cap with some water in it after it rains, that will be enough to support mosquitoes.
And she says in England, near bodies of water with lots of vegetation for the bugs to hide in, it's the perfect environment.
If it's really hot, you're going to get lots more mosquitoes. Those populations are going to increase much more quickly.
The pros say adults can safely stick to the sprays that work.
Wearing repellents is the best way that you can help protect yourself, especially things like wearing DEET.
And as the health department told us this summer, an important way to protect yourself from any itchiness or disease.
Very few people who get bitten by mosquitoes go on to develop an infectious disease. Of course, if you get sick, the best thing to do is go to an urgent care.
So, top of the mosquito cities list or not, residents have a message to anyone who disagrees.
They should come visit anytime, and they will find out that the England mosquitoes are horrible.
Proving that the bug can be worse in some places more than others.
There's a mosquito that was right on your arm.
Reporting in England, Sarah Hobakowitz, THV 11 News.
All right. Well, tens of millions of Americans are facing sweltering temperatures in what's being called the hottest week for the planet. Climate scientists say July 4th was Earth's warmest day on record. Even with half the planet experiencing winter right now, the average temperature climbed to nearly 63 degrees, and it's not falling.
All the numbers are suggesting that we're going in the wrong direction when it comes to the heat, the intensity of the heat, and how prolonged it is.
We're going to continue to break records. as climate change continues until that point where emissions and greenhouse gases are no longer accumulating in the atmosphere.
And the millions of Americans trying to beat the heat aren't alone. China has seen 10 days of temperatures above 95 degrees, the longest streak since 1961. Well, we're all trying to find ways to escape the heat right now, and jumping into water is a great way to cool on down. But around this time every year, people start talking about the fears of dry drowning. Melissa Kim is here to verify what that is and if it's a real medical condition.
Our sources are the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Children's National Hospital, and the International Drowning Researchers Alliance. They all agree dry drowning is not a medically accepted diagnosis. According to our sources, people use the term dry drowning to describe when a swimmer's airways become inflamed after swallowing or inhaling water, sometimes even days later. It gained traction in 2017 when a young boy was said to have died of it 1 week after getting into the ocean. Doctors say that if you swallow or inhale a lot of water, symptoms can develop a few hours later. Those symptoms include fatigue, shortness of breath, coughing, and chest pains. But Children's National says if they don't develop within 12 hours, they probably won't. And for those rare incidents like the boy from 2017, our sources say other underlying medical concerns were also to blame. So, we can verify that no, dry drowning is not an official diagnosis. However, drowning is the leading cause of death in young children. The CDC estimates that 4,000 people die from drowning each year in the U.S., so take precautions when you and your family get in the water. With your Verify, I'm Melissa Kim.
Well, coming up after the break, the idea of a train ride through the Ozarks has a lot of Arkansans excited. We've got the road trip details coming up. Nathan?
And take a look outside, our view 11 showing a few of those puffy cumulus clouds trying to develop, and some of those will grow into more scattered showers and storms as the day progresses along. I'll have more on the timeline, let you know when this unsettled weather pattern could come to an end.